Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, YouTube? So, I've been thinking, the people who say, people are, I believe I've said this before, people who are not rich nowadays, it's by choice. It's because they want to, you know. If you're not rich nowadays, it's, you are choosing to be that way. It's not a mistake anymore. And but there's so much information on the internet nowadays. So much information that if you want to become a mechanic engineer, you can become a mechanical engineer. If you want to become an electrical engineer, you can become an electrical engineer. If you want to become a software engineer, you can do it. If you want to be, I don't know, man, whatever you want to do, man, you can do it. But there are fields that you cannot, there are professions, like being a doctor. Being a doctor, it requires you to go to, university or college. You have to, because who, you know, who are you gonna experiment with? You know, who are you gonna do your practicals? You come on, you can't, you can't go around, people and then storing them um, in a freezer somewhere, and then when you want to practice, you bring them out. No sir, no sir. So you have to go to university for that or college. But so many skills you can pick up on the internet. So many skills, almost all the skills, in fact. If you want to, if if you have internet, if you have a phone, you have access to the internet. You can go to YouTube, ask ChatGPT, but there's tutorials everywhere. There's PDFs if you want to learn a book, read a book, and if you want to learn a new language, you can do so on the phone or computer, what have you. But man, this will be really, if we are not skilled, in these, you know, if we're not skilled, then it's by choice. If we're not rich, it's by choice. You know, there's a lot of information on the internet, a lot of information. Now there are some people, watching this who are like me. Oh man, who are messed up as me. People who want to be, okay, not want to be, who think, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, what do you call software engineer, all those things are cool, and I want to become those things. I want it all. Give me more. Then that's the problem with too much information. You end up not getting anywhere because you keep saying, you want this, you want that, you want that. It's like a kid in the candy store. The kid in the candy store. It's a great metaphor. It's, the kid in the candy store, man. Points, points at every candy. I want this, I want that, I want that one, I want that one too, keeps pointing and pointing and pointing. You know, just doesn't think about the consequences or anything. Okay, let's say, all the candies the kid in the candy store picks, you know, gets all the candy in the candy store and then eats it. you know Too much of something is not good. you know you're gonna go sick, man. So even if it's not candy, even if it's anything, whatever it is, even if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. As long as you know you have more than enough of it, it's bad for you. I don't care if it's healthy or unhealthy, doesn't matter. If you have too much of it, something bad will happen. There will be consequences, which is another law of the universe. I'm not sure if it's out there, you know but it should be a law. Too much of something is not good. Doesn't matter what it is, man. It doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't matter. Even if it's an apple, if you eat too many apples, not every day. I mean, if you eat too many apples, like simultaneously, you know, after you eat an apple, you eat another one, and then you eat another one after that. If you keep eating apples, something bad will happen to you. You know, you'll end up vomiting or something. I don't know, man. Something will happen, or you're gonna hate apples, but something not good will happen. So too much, too much of something is not good, and so that's the. I'm not sure if it's on purpose, but I'm convinced it is. But bro, the system, the matrix is smart. It is smart, man. It's a psychological game. It's a psychological game. It's a psychological operation. It's a psyop. You know, they everything is so deliberate. It's so deliberate. It's all done on purpose, man. It's all done for a reason. You know, it's it's like they just decided to give us all this information, or to give us social media, you know, and then bombard us with a lot of information. Now our brains are information overloaded, man. If, the problem is not that we cannot pick one skill, or we cannot. The problem is not that we don't know information is there. We do know. It's just that we want it all. And then as a result we get information overload. So yeah, man. You have to focus on one thing or two. But not all of them. It's then you're gonna be and then it's another problem is we want something to happen quickly, which is another problem. All over social media, people keep saying, ah, I'm going. I want to make. Those what do you call them? On TikTok, bruv, or Instagram, or YouTube, I guess. Kids nowadays, wanting to make some money. Day one of making $10,000 a month. Day two, day three. Those videos. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad. It's good, they're pushing. But then now everyone does it. I don't know why, but everyone does it for some reason. I mean, I get it. I mean, honestly, I get it. But I'm just, it's an example. It's a bad example, I guess. But it's a bad example. But, nowadays, most people want something done quickly. You know, when you talk to someone and you're like, dude, like, let's make money, man. This AI stuff, this drop shipping, this crypto trading, this what have you. It's people are making money, man. It doesn't require any money to start. It's free. We can just do this, boom, boom, and then we're gonna call clients, tell them we have this system, and then they're gonna buy. We're gonna sell it, bro. We're gonna make money, bro. Yeah, we're gonna be rich, man. We're gonna be rich in 3 months, man. In 1 month, in 1 week, and then and then you don't meet the deadline, and then as a result you fail, or you take that as failure, and then you say, and then you talk, you say, ah, man, it's impossible. You lose hope, you lose that energy you started with, because you couldn't meet the deadline. I guess you didn't work hard enough, or you were cold calling. Listen, man, if the struggles of cold calling, you know I've tried it. you know oh, cold calling, man. you know it's it's, it's bad, man. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad. you know it's the real world, man. Sometimes you call someone, and the guy just chews on you, man. Like, hello, sir. And like, why are you, why did you call this number? Why? And they use these big words on you, man. They use those insults words on words, insults words, insult words on you, you know. And then they shut the phone and drop the phone. People just hang up. Man. The cold calling world is brutal, man. Sales is crazy, man. Sales is crazy. It's crazy, man. Being an entrepreneur, it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard. That's why there are a few good entrepreneurs up there. Because they don't give up. Even these, people, real estate agents, businesses that are registered, you can search on the internet. They are, that job requires them to make cold calls. And if you search on the internet, ask chat or something, you know, chat will tell you that these businesses, they are required to make cold calls, but because of cold calls are, how hard cold calls are, they just stop. And then they, as a result, that business is affected, obviously. So, yeah, it's, oh man, I'm talking gibberish, but yeah, man, there's so much information on the online, on the internet. So much. If you want to be a code or program, to be a programmer, you can just go through YouTube tutorials and read some programming books, I guess, or join some free courses online. And if you want to be a mechanical engineer, you can watch YouTube tutorials, download some books online, PDFs. If you want to be an um, elec- electronical, electronical, electrical engineer, bruv. Again, you can pick up the skill from free sources online, YouTube, PDFs, books, whatever. So, the information is out there, man. It's, or if you want to learn a new language, you can do so. And there are many skills you can learn. I'm just, mentioning those because, they're on my mind and they're big skills. So, well, learning a language, it's important. It's cool. You can use it like, yeah. It's also a big opportunity. It's also an important skill. It's a big skill because some companies look for a translator. I mean, you can make big money with just learning another language, man. Like in the end, I don't know, there's companies hiring translators, to speak with people of a certain language on the phone, so yeah, man, it's a lot of skills you can pick up from the internet. A lot of skills. Information is out there, man. It's chat, chat GPT. If you have, if you run, if you run, if you run through a problem, then just ask chat. Listen, chat. Call it chat. I call it chat GPT chat. Listen, chat. Um, I'm having this problem, this code or this. Where do I get something like this? How? Why? Chat will tell you, man. Chat is a G, bro. Listen, chat is it's a, it's a girl, right? I don't want to say woman because it's only it's only a few years old. It's a child, so it's a girl. Chat is a girl, man. So come on, man, come on. Chad is a dude. You say, listen, Chad, I have this problem, man. I need your help. And then you tell Chad your problem, and then most people don't know how to use Chat GPT the right way. You can't just ask Chat, Chat, I have this problem. I need your help, and that's it. No, you have to give Chat details. Okay, I have this problem. I ran through it yesterday, and I was doing this and this, and then I got this error, and then I tried this, and then I got another error. Give it context, bro. Give it something to work with. What I mean? It doesn't know everything. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. Like you don't know what you don't know. So you have to give it details. I did this. I did it like this with this, and you know, I give it details, man. You know, kind of like explaining to someone, the directions or something, pointing someone to a place. Someone who's not from around the place. Giving them directions, but a little bit detail, a little bit, more. We have to give a bit of details, to chat. It's not like giving someone direction. You can just say to someone, go left, go right, and then go straight, and then take the first left again. Yeah, well, something like that. With the chat, you give it, go left, and then you'll see this, go right, and then there will be a couple of potholes, or you have to give it, build the buildings, the directions, the buildings, the color of the buildings. If there are potholes, give it potholes. There's cables hanging, there's trees. trees with the purple leaves, sakuras. Sakuras are in Japan, I think. Or they're all over the world. They just, the anime, sakura, tree, leaves. So, anyways, man, yeah, that's how you use ChatGPT or other AI models, like Claude, Gemini, Grok. Who knows, man? Who knows? All over the place. But yeah, there's so much information out there, man. You just have to type a few words on a screen on a computer, if you're on your phone, and then you'll get it. Read books, man. Read. You don't have to. I don't want to say, don't go to college. You don't need college. I mean, it's cool going to college or university. I mean, you can do that. It's cool. It's much easier that way. But if you want to, be self-taught, if you cannot afford college or things like that, I know I sound like everyone. I don't mean to. I don't mean to, but you can do so. That's the path I'm choosing to take. Self-taught, and you'll see let me see, in a couple of years, I will make it. I'm trying to teach myself, and I will make it in a couple of years as a self-taught whatever craft I'm teaching, I'm learning by myself at home. So yeah, man, you can learn. There's a lot of skills you can learn, man. If you want to speak a new language, you can, you can learn it on the internet. There's apps all over the Play Store, App Store, all over the internet. You can download. They can teach you that language, or books, or PDFs, tutorials on YouTube. If you want to, again, learn mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, you can do so. Just type a few words on YouTube and videos. You'll be bombarded with videos, a lot of them. But don't go crazy, clicking on all of them. Oh, I want to see this one. I want to see this one. I want to know. No, relax. Maybe you can do that in the beginning. When you try to find, a video that's best for you, that you can understand. And not some accent you don't understand. You know which one I'm talking about. But those guys are, they fix your problem. But sometimes you don't hear them. You're like, oh, wait, what did you say? And then you go back, and then time was wasted, or but those guys are just, man, they can explain. They sure can explain. Really good, really good. you know Download books, PDFs, read, through them. Okay, electricity, boom, boom, boom. And then you use Chat GPT. Okay, chat, listen, I'm here, in the video they said I must buy this component, this device, and how much is it? And then ChatGPT will tell you, where do I get it? You can get it here. It's 20,000 rands. It's 50 rand. You can get it here. This store. Boom, boom, boom. Chat will tell you, man. Chat will tell you. And so yeah, man. Spoke more than I was supposed to. By now you might have noticed that I have a problem with verbosity. So, it's I just yap around. I use more words than I should. This video probably should have taken me 10-15 minutes, but now we are close to 25 minutes, coming up on 25 minutes, which is crazy, man. Just crazy. Again, it feels like I've only spoken for, well, this time it feels like I've been speaking for 10 minutes, you know, but, yeah, man, there's so many skills out there you can pick up on the internet. You don't have to pay for them. Just learn them for free. It won't be easy because you don't have a teacher to hold your hand. That's true, but you can do it, man. It's not impossible. There's this problem with people nowadays. I don't. It's like they treat learning as this like enemy or bad thing. They're like, math, and then they end up not learning that thing. Bro, imagine if we were, imagine if we were all using the internet. We were all using the, YouTube tutorials as, for learning skills. Imagine if we were all doing this instead of doing TikTok dances. These influencers, man. These I'm not insulting them in any way, but these influencers, they just dance online. They make jokes, man. They do these videos, and then they get all the followers. Well, again, I'm not trash talking these people. I I understand the way I started. I came about the topic, but people just want first things is the problem. Like I said before, but so much information is out there. All you have to do is just take your time, open up a book. Listen, man, I hate reading. I get it, right? I hate reading, but it has to be done, right? You don't, and the beauty of today's world, you don't have to read. Just open up a YouTube tutorial, bruv. Just watch a video. But the problem again, there's a lot of problems involved, man. In this process, but but that's life. There's always gonna be problems. This YouTube tutorial watching. People treat it as TikTok, scrolling on TikTok. They're scrolling, and then it becomes a problem. But man, if you listen, if you can focus, okay, forget about my analogy. I wanted to make with TikTok influencers. Okay. All I wanted to say about TikTok influencers is that they just they just don't want to open books, learn skills online, boom boom whatever. But being an influencer it's not easy. These things, nothing is easy. I'm not saying it's easy, because if it was easy, then I would be doing it. I'd have like 50,000 plus followers already. So it's not easy. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. You know, no matter how easy it sounds, it's not easy, because some people cannot do it. Some people don't do it. It's not easy. Nothing is easy. Anyways, yeah, man. Do you can watch YouTube tutorials? Don't treat those tutorials. Don't treat your learning process like TikTok, Instagram. Doom scrolling through videos. Oh, this guy is boring. This guy is. Like, bro, just come, focus, man. Focus. People nowadays like simple things, man. Focus, bro. Simple things, basic things. The basic requirements to be successful, to learn something. Yes, it's gonna be hard. Obviously, you're gonna be feeling like exhausted mentally. I can't do this. No, you have to fight, man. You have to fight. You know, and that's the thing, bro. That's what you're looking for. The exhaustion, the mental exhaustion. That means your brain is picking up something new. I'm not familiar with your brain, is scared. I'm not familiar with the. It's not scared, actually. It's just telling you it's not familiar with these words or this concepts or whatever this is. Calculus, math, with engineering. It's not familiar with it. and then you feel mentally exhausted. That's the brain connecting dots, dismembering, connecting neurons, making new pathways so that that information can be digested easily in the future when you come back and study after failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. And then you come back to it, and then it feels easy. And then you start to pick up, like, oh, pick up the skill, like, oh yeah, yeah, X plus X is, boom, boom, it's, man, it's how learning should be. And now we just, some reason, something or someone, it's like they told us that, if you feel mentally exhausted, just quit. Don't continue. Don't, just drop everything. You know, don't move forward. Quit it. No, keep going. It's impossible for you not to learn. And if you're persistent, man, if you keep pushing, no matter how hard it is, you will make it. It's impossible not to make it. Possible, possible, man. So, you know, it won't be easy, but it's possible, man. You just have to keep going, getting back to it every single day. I mean, it doesn't have to be every single day, but you get what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. Just do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again until you are able to do it. Because the truth is, man, you are going to fail. You are going to fail, and failure is not such a bad thing. No, let me rephrase that. Failure is not a bad thing. I don't know who convinced us that failing is no. If you fail, then forget about it. Don't. It's bad. No. Failure is a requirement to success. Kind of like struggling, failing to do that math problem. You're gonna fail. That's cool. It's fine. It was expected. Your mind feels exhausted. Your mind feels, I don't like this. That's the feeling we are going for. You know, we are going to get back to it tomorrow, and then fail again. Your mind feels exhausted again. Doesn't want to do this. No, let's stop. Let's stop. Your mind is telling your body, man, I'm gonna keep flopping this. It's not, your mind is not telling you to stop. It just feels exhausted. It just feels uncomfortable because this information is new to it. It's it's again dismembering, you know, neurons and connecting to new ones so that the information can be digested easily. That's all it's doing. That's where the mental, I guess that's how we can look at it. That's where the mental exhaustion comes from. Not that, not that your mind is telling you to quit. No. And if that dismembering and assembling, if that repeated circle happens for a long enough time, you keep failing and trying again, failing and trying again, failing and trying again. Bruv, I promise you, you will get it sooner or later, man. That's how learning works. That's how learning works. It's not a breeze, it's not a slide. Shui, just just gliding about life. Yeah, it's not flying, you're not Superman, man. It's a process. It's a hard process. That's why they say learning is hard. Learning these skills, engineering stuff. You know, that's why they say it's hard. But if you keep doing it, man, if you keep doing it, getting back to it, you will get it. It's not that I'm not saying it. I think you will get. No, you will get it if you keep getting back to it. It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. You will succeed in the end. if you don't give up. That's all you have to do. Just not give up. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let let's get these skills, man. You know, let's get these skills. So, yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. You know, it's yeah, man. Learn a skill and feed your brain information. It's important. Your brain hungers for information. That's why you scroll on TikTok every day. Scroll, scroll. You're looking for something interesting, looking for dopamine. But that's that's your mind telling you that it wants to learn something new. You know, I guess. I'm not a scientist, man. I'm not a neurologist or some shit. But yeah, man. You need to feed your mind every single day. You need the hard things, man. Feed your mind, feed your brain. Don't rush. Relax. Take your time. Not relax, but you get what I'm trying to say. Don't rush things. Don't say, okay, in 5 days I'm gonna get this, and then you fail to meet the deadline, and then you give up. So, something like that. Just set the deadline. You can set the deadline. Okay, 5 days I'm gonna do this, and then you fail. Don't be demotivated, bruh. Brev. Don't be demotivated. No. Okay. Say to yourself, okay, I failed. Fine, admit it. But I'm not gonna stop. Keep going. Boom. Anyways, man, listen. Salute. I'll see you tomorrow. Boom.